Hi everybody, welcome to Afterburner. I'm Bill Whittle. You know what's been bothering me? You want to know what's been bothering me more and more every week as I stand on this very spot and point out in great detail how everything seems to be going to hell in a handbasket? Well, I'll tell you. It bothers me that I have to stand on this very spot week after week and tell you in great detail about how everything seems to be going to hell in a handbasket because with all of that, and it's awful, don't get me wrong, if the world were a giant game of Risk or Axis and Allies and I had first pick, I'd take America. I'd take America over the next 3 draft picks. In fact, I'd take America, you could have the rest of the board. So, here is some good news. First of all, despite all of the hysteria, America at least is an infinitely cleaner place than it was back when I was a boy. Most people my age can remember, barely, when you would drive down the street, finish a bag of fast food, and just pitch it out the window. Now that crying Indian in those old littering commercials who looked out at the garbage strewn on the highways with a tear streaming down his face actually changed the face of this nation. And in the best American tradition, it turns out that this Native American conscience of the people, Chief Iron Eyes Cody, was in fact 100% Italian. When I was a kid, the Ohio River caught fire. The Great Lakes were dead pools of toxic waste, and the air in Los Angeles was so bad that when I first arrived here in 1988, I spent 3 weeks working, not living, working in Beverly Hills before I realized, hey man, there were mountains out there. Now I know this is shocking, but there is no more smog in LA, no more factories belching smoke all across the country. The Great Lakes are alive with fish. Reasonable environmental regulations got us to this point, and unreasonable ones are threatening to... Sorry. The U.S. military remains absolutely unparalleled. You know, despite serious encroachments from our rivals, it remains absolutely in a league of its own. Using just the Navy as a picturesque example, while China, Russia, and India play with a single flat top for photo opportunities, America currently has 11 carrier strike groups, each one operating with the precision of a Swiss watch. The strike group is not just an aircraft carrier. It's a magnificent assembly of anti-aircraft, anti-submarine, and anti-surface ship sensors, platforms, and weapon systems. And there's nothing else like it in the world, not even like one of them. And these 11 armadas are not just capable of patrolling some square miles of ocean. Each of them can deliver inland significant amounts of persuasion and at very short notice. They can be followed by the United States Marine Corps, which is the only force on the face of the planet today that can go ashore anywhere in the world and stay there. The U.S. Army, not only extremely lethal from the main battle tank all the way down to the individual soldier, is not only very well trained and very well armed, it remains, and this is critical, the only battle-hardened, experienced fighting force on the face of the planet today. Now you throw in the aluminum overcast of the United States Air Force and the unsung but essential domestic protection and rescue capabilities of the Coast Guard, and you have something never seen in this world before, a magnificently coordinated, perfectly equipped, astonishingly capable and competent collection of assets made possible by the greatest asset of all, namely the best Americans we have. It's just awesome. After decades of dangerous dependence on foreign sources, American technological know-how has revolutionized the domestic energy production. We are now the single greatest energy source in the world. There's more recoverable oil, that's just oil, under our feet than there is in the entire Middle East. Throw in the astonishing breakthroughs in clean, efficient natural gas production brought about by fracking and other ingenious and safe methods, and you have the foundations of an economic growth spurt the likes of which we have never seen in this country. All we have to do is get out of our own way. Tech companies are the backbone of the third wave information age economy, and they all belong to us. Virtually all of the innovation in this information age comes from America. From tech giants like Apple, Google, Microsoft, Facebook, and all the rest, to individual life-changing app developed in a basement somewhere by some guy. Now, simply stated, America owns the future. And that's good because that's where we're going to be living. American farmers continue to grow so much food and so inexpensively that the #1 health problem among poor Americans today is obesity. Just think about that for a second. We feed the world, and as we continue to apply American innovation and especially free market forces, what we're finding is that those market forces are driving the U.S. food industry into ever more organic and higher quality, less factory farmed produce. The food, which when you get right down to it, folks, is the main thing, just keeps getting better and better. And even though movies aren't made in Hollywood anymore, the deals still are. American pop culture is the pop culture of the world. Spider-Man, Hunger Games, pretty much all of it comes from right here. Now, that may not seem important, but it is. It lets the entire world see America, both good and bad, in a way that they see no one else. We're family. So, who won Best Supporting Actor at last year's BAFTA Awards in Britain? Yeah, I don't know either. And finally, America's greatest strength remains what it has always been, its entrepreneurs. Now, that's a new term for an old phenomenon because men like Andrew Carnegie, Henry Ford, the Wright brothers, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, and all the rest, several of them first-generation immigrants, still find only one place that has the vision to make their visions real. It's right here. You know, when one man can innovate a way to make hundreds of millions of dollars in the tech industry and then spend that money to be able to run cargo and pretty soon entire flight crews to the International Space Station, well, the nation that breeds that is the only nation that breeds that. And that's the place you want to be. It's the place I want to be anyway.